Hey Book Dragons, welcome back to my channel. Glad you could join me. Today we are talking about my goals for 2022. Let's go. Man, I can't tell you how weird it is to say that we are almost at the end of 2021. And it's been a phenomenal year, and I have already set goals for 2022, and I'm here to let you know what those are. And I just, I can't believe it. It is so wild. So this year just flew by. So we're going to talk a little bit about my goals for 2022, and I'm doing something a little bit different this year. I had a goal last year of reading 30 books. That's what I had put on my Goodreads goal, and I blew that out of the water. Right now to date, I'm close to 60 books. By the time you see this, I may have already hit the 60 book mark. I read a ton of books this year, guys. So I'm trying to think about how I can do things different, not overwhelm myself. And I am setting my goal. I'm just going to keep it at 60 books. Because, 60 is kind of like a stretch in my mind, because you never know what's going to go on. I mean, some people read 100 books a year, and I'm like, I don't know how you can do that. But I'm going to keep it at 60. And I did something different this time around. I made myself a spreadsheet month by month. I'm gonna try and be a little bit more of a structured reader, but also leave myself room for mood reading, because at the end of the day, I'm a mood reader at heart. So, sometimes I just get in a different mood than the book I'm actually reading. I want to read something different, so I want to leave myself some flexibility for that, right? But I wanted a little bit more structure because I have a lot of goals for books I want to read in 2022. So I'll talk a little bit about how I did that. You'll see a different video for my reading goals for January, for my January TBR. I guess I might as well call it a TBR, even though it's loose goals. I don't know. If you guys prefer that I say TBR for those videos, or if you don't mind goals, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and we'll do it that way. But yeah, I'm gonna go over my overall plans for 2022, but I do want to let you know first that I do have some channel goals as well. My biggest channel goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers. I would love that. Now, at this point, I'm getting close to 400. I'm almost at 400. It'd be cool if I hit 500 before the end of the year. That probably won't happen, but in case it does, that would be cool. And I'm putting a stretch goal out there to hit 1,000 subscribers in 2022. I think that's probably doable. I don't know. What do you think? And you can help with that. When you subscribe to my channel, when you hit the like button, when you share with your friends, things like that, that really helps me out. And if you're a regular watcher of my videos but you don't subscribe to my channel, maybe give it a subscribe. If you watch enough of my videos, maybe it's time to subscribe. So that's one of my channel goals for next year. And I've also got some goals to try out a few different things next year. I'm not quite sure how that's all going to work out. I haven't really planned it out too much, so I will let you know more about that in the coming weeks or months as I roll some of those things out. But once I hit the 500 subscriber mark, I am definitely going to be doing a live stream, so stay tuned for that. And now let's talk about what I want to accomplish in 2022 as far as reading goes. So I've broken it down by series that I want to finish, series that I want to continue, series that I want to start, and some electives, just in case I have some open slots. And that's kind of where the mood reading will come in. So let's get to it, guys. So as far as the series that I want to finish, that would be the Deathgate Cycle by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman. It's a 7-book series, and so far I have only read up to book 3. So I will be continuing the series next year with Serpent Mage, which is book 4, and my goal is to finish the series next year. The Dark Tower series by Stephen King. This one is pretty much a given. I will finish it in 2022. I've only got 3 books left. The Wolves of the Kala, The Song of Susanna, and The Dark Tower. That's all I have left in the series. So that's an easy finish, I think. I'm also going to read Jade Legacy, which is the 3rd book in the Greenbone saga. And that's an easy one as well, because that'll finish out that series. I'll be done with it. Boom. I also want to read Heaven's River. It is book 4 in the Bobaverse series. That's the only one I have left so far. I know he's writing more books, but I don't know when those will release. And I've been listening to this series on audiobook with my friends Carl and Pete over at Geek on My Sleeve. So I'm looking forward to finishing out the Bobaverse so far and seeing where that goes. I will be continuing Fire and Blood. I mentioned that I'm going to start reading Fire and Blood this month, but I'm going to most likely continue it in January. I'm just giving myself that space because I know I'm not going to finish it all in 1 month. It's a big chunky book, and it's very it's written in a very historical format. This happened, this happened, this happened. At least that's my understanding. So I don't think I'm going to finish it all in 1 month. So I'm setting that as a goal for 2022. And also I'm going to finish the original arc of the Sandman saga by Neil Gaiman with Sandman Overture. That is the only one that I have left in the series to complete. Now, I may eventually get into the Sandman universe, which is a whole new series written by other authors with Neil Gaiman as the overarching editor. But I don't know. That's kind of on the back burner for now. We'll see if that happens. Series I want to continue. That would be The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. It has been way too long since I read me some Dresden, and I am so excited to finally get back to Dresden. I love the humor in it. I love the classic gumshoe detective mixed with wizarding and magic and like the neo-noir urban fantasy. It's just such a great series, and I can't wait to get back to it. So I will be continuing with Dresden. I don't think I'll finish it. I don't think. I might. You never know. But I think there's coming up on 18 or 19 books in this series right now. And I'm getting ready to start book 5. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen next year. But maybe the year after I'll finish it. Who knows? But 2022 I am going to continue with Dresden. I am going to continue with the Dune series. At the very least, I want to read Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, and God Emperor of Dune. At the very, very least, I want to read those this year. That's a loose goal. It may not happen, but I want to get further into that series and see where it goes. And who knows, I may decide that the rest of the books aren't my cup of tea, but I want to at least make a good concerted effort to trudge through them, right? And get her done. I'm going to continue reading the Shannara series by Terry Brooks. It has been way too long since I have been to the Shannara universe, and I'm really itching to get back to it. So I'm very excited to get to that in 2022. I'm going to continue the Witcher series, of course, and I probably won't finish it, but I've only got 4 books left, so who knows. I think book 4 is A Time of Contempt. I could be wrong. I'll put it up here on the screen if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I'll put up the name of it either way. And I'm very excited to continue reading the Witcher books. I'm going to continue reading In the Universe of Paralisk. My good friend Jesse Teller writes in this universe. And if you have not heard of Paralisk, I'll leave a link in the cards at the end and in the description below to my review for Song, which is the first book in his Manhunters series. Just phenomenal, and I'm excited to get back to reading Jesse's stuff. And I want to continue with the City Watch series, which is part of the larger Discworld universe. I really enjoyed Guards, and I'm excited to continue with that series. So those are some of the ones that I want to continue. Some of the series I want to start would be The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. I've heard so many good things about this series, and I just kind of feel like I'm left out. Everybody's talking about The Faithful and the Fallen, aside from Malazan, and we'll get to that here in a few minutes. But aside from Malazan, The Faithful and the Fallen seems to be the other big series that a lot of people are talking about. So I'm really hoping that I can get a chance to start The Faithful and the Fallen. At least give the first book a shot and see what happens. Murderbot by Martha Wells. Again, that's another series that I am so excited to give a try. I love really cheeky humor, satire, and it's science fiction. I can't wait to at least give it a shot. I've heard a lot of good things about Murderbot. Now Malazan. I mentioned it just a few minutes ago, and I am going to do Malazan. I'm going to at least read the first 3 books and see where it goes. I'm joining a read-along in January, starting with Gardens of the Moon. And I've read Gardens of the Moon before, but it's been a long time, and it's one of those books that I feel like I can't remember anything about because it was so dense. So I want to reread it and see what I think of it, and try to keep going with the Malazan Book of the Fallen. The Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. I recently got copies of all 3 books. My good friend Baron over at Your Brain on Books sent those to me, and I can't wait to get started with those. I figure now that I own them, I might as well give them a shot, because I've been wanting to read V.E. Schwab for a while. And I also want to start the Ash and Sand trilogy by Richard Nell. I've heard nothing but good things about this series, especially Kings of Paradise. I've heard is a phenomenal first book in the series, and I've heard the other books are equally as good. So I want to start the Ash and Sand trilogy this year. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I want to at least start it. And then finally, the final category is my electives. Now, the way I've constructed it is I've set aside each month the different books that I want to read of these categories that I've read so far, and then I've left some open slots so that if I have time, I can pick up an elective. And I've got on my spreadsheet, I've got a list of electives off to the left-hand side, highlighted in yellow, so I know, okay, this is a list I can pick from for my electives. And here are some of those electives. The Wheel of Time. Now, some of you are probably saying, why would you make Wheel of Time an elective, dude? Come on, don't give me a hard time. I know, I need to give it a try again. I read Eye of the World. I read it twice, actually. I also read The Great Hunt way back in the day, and I'm going to reread The Great Hunt now. Hopefully at some point in the very near future. Hopefully in 2022, I'm going to make that a priority as one of my electives. And I do want to at least get through that and maybe The Dragon Reborn, and we'll see how things go. I am enjoying the show, so I want to be able to give an honest critique between the books and the show. So I guess I better continue reading so I know my stuff, right? But I'm I'm hoping to at least get back to The Great Hunt and maybe The Dragon Reborn this year, but it's all maybes. Part of that is because I want to make a concerted effort to read Malazan, as I mentioned before, and the Malazan Book of the Fallen and the Wheel of Time together, that might give me a mental tummy ache, if you know what I mean. So I'm not going to put pressure on myself. I also want to start The Expanse. Leviathan Wakes being the first book. I'm really hoping I can at least get to Leviathan Wakes and see where the series goes from there. Who knows, maybe I'll just have a really bang up reading year and I'll get all these books read. But I'm leaving myself some breathing room, so I do hope to start The Expanse. So I put that on my electives list. The Cradle series. I've heard this is a really fast reading series. The books are pretty short and pretty action-packed, so they read quickly. That's what I've heard. So I put that on my electives list. To be honest, it's probably at the bottom of the electives list, but it's there. And I do hope to get a chance to at least read the first couple of books in the series. The Yarns World books by Benedict Patrick. The first book is They Mostly Come Out at Night. It's just a really cool, unique looking series. From what I understand, a lot of it's based in African mythology, and so I'm pretty excited to check this series out. Probably read the first book and see what that's like. With all of these electives, it'll probably be just the first book that I'll start off with and see where it goes from there. So Yarns World is it. The Baru Cormorant series, I mentioned this in my video before about book series that I want to start, and so I figured 2022 would be a good year to start this series. Yarns World was the same way, it was on that list as well. So the Trader Baru Cormorant is the first book, so I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. I do want to continue the First Law, so I want to read the First Law standalones. Even though I talked about series that I want to continue earlier, this is a series that I maybe want to continue in 22. Just maybe. I don't know. I might get to it, I might not. That's why it's on my electives list. I want to read more Discworld, and I will read at least one or two more this year. Hopefully more than that. But I'm putting more Discworld on my electives list. Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. This is a standalone novel that I've heard so many good things about. I've heard so many good things about M.L. Spencer in general. And I really do want to make a concerted effort to read more self-published authors. So I'm hoping to maybe get to that book this year. We'll see. It is on my electives list. Lock and Key. Now this is a graphic novel series, so this might be really easy to fit into my electives without overwhelming myself too much, because it's not a book, it's a graphic novel. And my daughter and I have been watching the TV series, and it's just phenomenal. So I have an idea that the graphic novels are probably even better than the show. So I'm excited to try those out. I do want to read Kings of the Wild, the first book in the Band series by Nicholas Ames. And we will see how that goes. I hope I'll get a chance to read it, but I've really been wanting to read it. It sounds right up my alley. And another one would be Sufficiently Advanced Magic by Andrew Rowe. It's a first book in his series, kind of a lit RPG series that he wrote. So I'm excited to give that a try because I've heard a lot of good things about it. So you will recognize a lot of those from my top 12 series that I want to start video. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know some of your goals for 2022 because that wraps up mine. And let me know if you think I'm crazy for trying to be more structured next year. Maybe I am. It may backfire on me, but I've got so many series I want to get to that I just feel like it's necessary. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Make sure you are reading more books, guys. I will chat with you soon. Take care. Bye.